What's up everybody, Danny's here, and in this video, I'd like to talk about the next Nintendo Direct and what games do we want to see. So anyways, let's talk about it. So the next Nintendo Direct is coming soon. According to NateTheHate, he says the next Nintendo Direct is going to be announced next week around Tuesday. Because however, I think Nintendo is making this quite simple. Because the Nintendo Switch 2 was released almost 1 year ago, and I was thinking, hey, why not find out what games should be released and announced for the Nintendo Switch 2? So, let's talk about it. Now anyways, let me get my Nintendo 3DS because I've got a surprise for y'all. Alright. Don't worry, I'm back. No worries, I got this. Okay. So we all know we got Tomodachi Life, but one game that we need to bring back for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is Kid Icarus Uprising. This is really an underrated 3DS game, and I think Nintendo needs to bring this game back for the Nintendo Switch 2. Because they need to do the controls a lot better than the 3DS. You know what I'm saying? And we also got Star Fox. We got Star Fox 64 3D on the Nintendo 3DS, but also Nintendo is remaking Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo Switch 2. And it's just named Star Fox, which is like a remake version of Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo 64. Now, Nintendo is announcing a Paper Mario game every 4 years. Like, we did, 2 years ago, we got Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. And somewhere around 2028, we might be getting a new Paper Mario game for the Nintendo Switch 2. Which kind of makes a lot of sense, though. But what I also want Nintendo to announce is Nintendo Switch Sports 2 for the Nintendo Switch 2. And why, though? Because, however, I think Nintendo realized that Nintendo Switch Sports 2 would be a perfect fit with mouse controls and motion controls. Because motion controls would be a lot better for the Nintendo Switch 2, like the mouse controls. But also, Nintendo needs to announce an update for Tomodachi Life. Because what it really is about editing the island is you can use mouse controls, which isn't usable on the Nintendo Switch 2. So Nintendo needs to do Tomodachi Life Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, because we already got Tomodachi Life for the Switch 1, and it's compatible on the Nintendo Switch 2. You know what I'm saying? But also, speaking of Paper Mario, one of the most hated Paper Mario games, I'm gonna tell you, is Paper Mario Sticker Star. This game was completely overrated somehow, but I don't know why Nintendo released this game for the 3DS, and people are complaining and arguing about why this game is overrated. If you guys like to know why Paper Mario Sticker Star is the most overrated game, I'd like to know in the comments below, definitely. But have you guys played Paper Mario Sticker Star? I'd like to know in the comments below if you've played this game before on the 3DS. Paper Mario Sticker Star. I haven't got a chance to play this game, honestly, because I don't know why this game was, kind of overrated, honestly. I might have to look this up, you know what I'm saying? Paper Mario Sticker Star. But I know Kid Icarus Uprising, the controls weren't that good, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So I think Nintendo needs to 100% remake Kid Icarus Uprising for the Nintendo Switch 2, so that way the controls can be fixed. Which kind of makes a lot of sense, though. You know where this is going? Considering this, Nintendo needs to bring back Kid Icarus. Nintendo needs to bring back Earthbound for the Nintendo Switch 2. Because, however, I think Earthbound was a great game for the Super Nintendo. But we also got Mother 3, which is for the Game Boy Advance, which was released only in Japan. But I think this is, part of Earthbound. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo really needs to bring back Earthbound for the Nintendo Switch 2. And then you also got, let me try to think, Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake. So this was according to NateTheHate that he was spreading a rumor about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm getting my Switch 2 out so I can show you. So when Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake comes out on the Switch 2, it's going to have a bigger screen, like the HD version. Kind of like what you see with Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for the Wii U. That's what it's like, though, for sure. But alongside Zelda Ocarina of Time, the HD remake, I would like to see a Majora's Mask remake for the Nintendo Switch 2, like an HD remake. And I think it's a genius idea that Nintendo should definitely do a remake of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask as an HD remake for the Nintendo Switch 2, which could be a genius idea, definitely. And it's also a genius idea that Nintendo would do a Kid Icarus Uprising remake, because the controls weren't that good for the 3DS, but they should do a remake version for the Nintendo Switch 2, because I think the controls would be fixed, and Kid Icarus Uprising, the remake version for the Nintendo Switch 2, would change everything, honestly, which kind of makes a lot of sense. So let me know what games you guys like to see on the next Nintendo Direct. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you guys are new to this channel. And I'll see y'all later. Peace!